Okay, so this is quick look at godox SF6090 flag set. I have it for 2 or even more weeks, but as you can probably hear, I'm still sick, so I haven't played a lot with it, but I can share first impressions. So generally there are 2 types of flag sets, either collapsible like this one, so the flag is collapsed, the frame is collapsed, and you open the frame and put the whatever flag you want on it. And some other sets are pre-assembled and they are fixed, so you cannot disassemble them. And there are pros and cons for such approaches. And of course, this is the open end flag set, so you got 3 solid edges and 1 edge is open. And this is the same case with the pre-built flags, and this is 60 by 90 centimeters, that's the name. For the fixed frames, they came like this, and sometimes the mounting bracket is in the middle, sometimes it's in the corner. As you can probably see, they are big and quite hard to transport because they usually come with in a hard case. So the case is even bigger, so the case is like 1 meter by 70 centimeters. And it is hard to transport if you have a small car like I have and a lot of small videographers have. And that's why collapsible are better, because as you can see, this is quite small when collapsed. The minus is that you have to set this up every time. If you got the fixed frames, then you just unpack them from the hard case and you can use them. There are 5 flags here, so single net, the green one, double net, the red one, As they claim, there is also a single stop white flag and double stop white flag, plus there is a solid, and solid is just a flag that blocks light totally. Nothing to explain there, but I already have some complaints. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but these are open flags, and you can probably see there is a much darker seam here. Usually it's just a wire, but here the flag is fold over, so actually that strip is double net. It does not impact the light quality that much if you're using soft light, but if you're using hard light, that would be visible as a shadow. So it is probably, you probably use it like that in 10% situations. Usually that would be used with the soft light, but I guess it's worth knowing that they are not that open, like the end of the flag is a bit darker. And regarding quality, this one is, I would say, this one has really bad quality. Not sure it would be visible, but this is double net, so there are 2 layers of the net, and one of the layers is much bigger, so it is loose at the end, and actually it falls on itself and it creates 4 layers of the of the net, and plus it's very uneven. So if you use hard light, that would be quite visible shadow. I will show that later. So I'm sending back actually this one flag, and I bought from the quite a good retailer, so they said they would take care of it, and they would send this back to Godox and get the proper one. If they produce proper ones, I don't know. And also in this one, not sure it is visible, but there are cut-offs of the filament caught between the nets, so actually they might create shadow if the light source is close enough. So that's really lame. Of course I can push it to the edge of the frame, but there were few in the middle of the frame, so I had to push them beneath this frame. It's kinda lame testament about the quality of this, but it is what it is. So in my opinion, this one is not that great. I will try to show this with the hard source of light, what shadow that casts. And also imagine you are on set, there is something being recorded there, and DP or director tells you that for the next shot you will need a frame or whatever, for example, one stop, white flag. So you prepare for the next scene to streamline things up, and you take it and you try to assemble it. It's quite loud, so the fixed frames are just quiet because they are pre-assembled and they are fixed, so there is nothing that moves. And here, if you try to assemble it, that would be quite annoying or really annoying. So I guess it's worth knowing that you are not able to actually assemble this while something is being recorded. How to assemble them? It's quite easy, I'd say. Is it wrong? Wrong hole. So you open this, push it, and it's locked. Small complaint that each of these frames is a bit different. Some are really tight, so it is really hard to push this in. Some are quite loose, so it's like moving a bit when it is assembled. So that is strange. Anyway, this is the flag, and it has three edges. I actually should do it differently. You have to thread this rod, and it's easier to do it when one of the rods is not fixed. So you thread it, thread the other one. Now you can fix it. And you got the third edge with a Velcro. And I think another mistake here is that the male Velcro is on this side. So you can actually catch the flag material with the Velcro, and there is a chance you might actually destroy it. I would say that it should be the other way around, so the male should be inside and the hooks should be inside, and this softer Velcro should be outside, but I don't know. Anyway, if you are careful, then you would be fine. So this is one flag. This is supposed to be one stop, at least what they say on their page. I will double check. And Godox call this one stop silk, the black flag. I'm not sure it should be black, but it is. And I want to explain how these nets and flags work, because there is a great video from Andrew Locke. I will link it below. He explains everything about the nets, so watch that video if you want to see how to use them and why use them. But here I'm just talking about this particular set, what is the quality, and if I can use it as intended. This one is identical in terms of how it works. So it is quite fast to assemble them. Not sure how good the Velcro is and how long the Velcro would work. If it is non-light quality Velcro, then it would be ducked up quite fast, but it seems it's okay. It's like better quality Velcro. Anyway, this is 2 stops white silk, at least what they say. So regarding the nets, the green one, which is single net, is usually half the stop, and this one, since this is double net, should be 1 stop. But I've heard different opinions. Some say that this is half and full stop. Some say it is just a single net and double net, so they just cut, the red one cuts twice the light as a green one, but the green one is not guaranteed to be half the stop. So there are 2 opinions. I don't know which one is valid. And regarding the white flags in Kupo set, they have different values. So they have like half and 1.5 stop, and these are supposed to be 1 and 2. We'll see this with the Sekonic in a second. So I have Aputure 1200X set here. It says 2000 lux, and let's see with the frame. Not very scientific because I may move, but actually it says 1011, so that means it actually cuts almost 1 stop of light. Okay, so let's see the green one. And this is 1630, so kinda half the stop, I'd say. So I guess with this Sekonic it is okay. And now there was no difference in the light quality in terms of the hardness. But look what happens if I mount the white flag. There's no surprise here, like the light is much softer because the light source is now this flag, and it depends how close or how far away the flag is from the light. And you can actually see the knob here. So let's see how many stops it is. And 864 lux, which kind of suggests that this is more than 1 stop. Let's see the yellow one. It is definitely darker. Okay, and with the so-called 2 stops white flag, it is 332 lux, which suggests it is more than 2 stops, but not much. So more or less confirmed with C800 that it is as advertised. My only, and also not sure, I already said that this one was covered with the cutoffs of the filament. It was like fully covered, so I have to use this roller, which you clean your clothes from the animal fur or animal hair, because it was just filled with the cutoffs of the filament. I think there are still few, but this is not a great testament of the quality of the godox flags. It's like, I mean, maybe it's not the worst Chinese quality, but it kinda screams cheap Chinese quality. If I'm a company, I wouldn't send to customers the flags covered with the cutoffs, but maybe that's me. Anyway, they are quite okay, generally. Not much to complain, except the one that is kinda, there is too much material, so I would now try to cast the shadow with the hard light and try to show it. Other than that, it's fine, and I would probably use this one the most and the solid. The rest, maybe there are situations. Watch Andrew Locke video to see when and where you can use the other flags and nets, but I think I would use this over my head, and I will try to test it today in that scenario for outside shots, and I hope that 60 by 90 is big enough to do it. And other than that, solid to introduce more contrast, and that's it actually. But it's useful to have the options, because I guess the quite possible is that I might use the nets if someone is wearing white shirt. The white shirts are quite annoying for the exposure, so the nets might save the day. And if I have a single source of light and two people, then maybe I would also use a net to have the even exposure. And I guess that's it. But I kind of doubt there would be a scenario like that, because usually if I have more people in the frame, then I have more light sources, and I can even out the people with light sources. But maybe there would be situations that actually I have only one light source and there are more than one person in the frame. Then the net is very useful, and actually 60 by 90 is that size you use to cut the exposure for the person if you have like a shot like this, for example. Okay, anyway, let me try to showcase the shadow of the nets. I mean, it's an extreme scenario that the shadow is that close, but you can see actually that this is much denser than this, so it's not that open, and this is a bit denser, but this is quite uncommon scenario because it's really a harsh light, really hard light, and the net is close to the area. Or for example, that might be a person, so that might be you may see this seam on the neck of a person if the person is wearing white shirt, for example. Quite extreme example, but it's not that open, and although other nets have a wire string here, which is also visible as a shadow, but I guess it's worth knowing how this looks as a shadow. And let me install the red one, and the red one is worse because it has more material on one side, so this material is sagging on the other side, and you can see it's like a quadruple shadow because there are creases all over the seam. So this one is quite annoying, I'd say. Not sure it's visible on that camera, but there are 1, 2, 3, like 4, maybe even more creases of the but there are like 4 or more shadows from all these creases which are on top of this. It's not that great, the red one, but if you have a soft light, and I can emulate the soft light with with white flag, then there is nothing like that. You can see that the shadow is quite soft, so then it's not a problem. But if you have a hard light, then this edge is first of all pronounced, and second of all, due to all these wrinkles, because it's uneven, like one side is much bigger than the other one, then due to all these wrinkles you have this ugly shadow. So in my opinion, this is defective. This one is defective. That's why I'm sending the red one back to the retailer, and they will deal with it and send me the proper one. So yeah, I guess that's it. Quick look at the flags, and I will try them also outside. Okay, quick test of the flags. Actually, the 2 stops white flag, if it would be enough to fix this. So, and actually this whole set is around 10 kilos, so no joke. And I want to install this above my head, so this creates a shadow, and the shadow should be there, like cover my head and probably shoulders. And if it's possible, it seems it's possible, I don't know if I would mount it like that or like that, or maybe even like that. The sun is behind me, so, and this is what I'm fighting with, and the exposure of my face is questionable. The parade says it's kind of okay for S-Log, but I don't know. So I will mount this on the, you can see that the exposure changes if I bounce the light. I will mount this on an assistant and try to cast the shadow there. Should be visible on the Action 5 Pro and cover my shadow. Yeah, so maybe not the best position of the flag. It's very windy, but it seems it works. So I'm covered on the shadow. If I stand in the same place, you can see that, and okay, and it fold out, so not that great idea. Okay, I grabbed another shot back, and now I can see the flag in the corner of the frame. And which part is it? Here. So maybe actually it's better to attach it horizontally. Oh, now it's okay. So it is possible, but now when dismounted that way, since it is quite elastic, it's open on one side, then when the wind blows, it makes the light hits my head, so it's not like 100% ideal. Now it seems okay, but the wind is blowing hard. So the goal is to cover my shadow there on the ground, and the goal is reached. So that way, then there is maybe this small overexposed area, and here maybe, but other than that, it's all fine. So if I stand here, it's all okay. And then if sun moves to this side, the shadow would move to this side, and I will be still in the shadow at least for some time. So that size of the flag should be okay. You can see on the shadow how that. So maybe I should mount it the other way around, so the elastic side to the back, and that way it won't be very prone to the wind. Let me check. Okay, seems now it is okay. There are still like this, it's not perfect because you can see some light hitting my back, and this wardrobe choice is not the best, but other than that, regarding this, it is okay, at least on the, what I can, from time to time I can see it in the frame, so it is still not high enough. I guess at 4%, something like that maybe, I don't know. I'm judging exposure on the screen and on the, it should be okay. Yeah, so seems that size of the, this size of the flag is okay. It's on the verge of being okay, although I'm not sure it's attached correctly. Like usually what I see, it is attached lower, but probably they use tighter angle of the lens. This is 50mm f4, so I'm using 3 stops of ND for the f4, and it looks like that. Maybe the background is a bit too dark with 3 stops of ND, maybe, probably. So maybe I will switch to 2 stops and see if it is any better, and then I would have to adjust the light. But the hair light seems to be okay even for this haircut. What else is in this package? There is a solid finger, a net finger, they are still wrapped in foil, and net dot and solid dot. They are mostly used with the tabletop videography, so maybe I will use them, but kind of doubt it. Maybe for some product shots, maybe that would be useful, but just an add-on for the 5 flags, and that's it. Okay, 2 stops of ND now, so I'm probably overexposed on the face. The sun is behind the flag, and that's why it's diffused, and this creates the shadow behind me, or it's behind me, but the shadow is cast on back of my head, my shoulders, and that's why I'm not overexposed. But for a moment you could probably see the flag on the screen, so actually the open end flag is not that great in this scenario, because since it is quite bendy, it can go into the frame, so it would be better to mount it vertically. So maybe I'll try to fix it. Now it is mounted vertically, so it shouldn't go into the frame, because it's the same height, but not skewed like that, but fully horizontally, yeah, probably. So that's the shot with the flag, and I think the flag works okay. So the size is correct. The smaller one is 45 by 60, so I think it would be too small. And there are sparrows. They really want to grab some food from the feeder, but they're kind of intimidated by the cameras, the light, and probably the flag. So yeah. And this flag would also work as a diffusion for the light, so it's the second one, that the one-stop one could be a diffusion and the look would be softer, but anyway, I guess the flags are alright, except that one is kinda mangled and faulty, and they are loud. And other than that, for the car I use with my lighting equipment, this one seems to be actually the proper choice, because if I have the fixed frames, I won't be able to transport them, so that would be a bummer. And there are different makes of these collapsible frames. There are, I think, Manfrotto ones and Avenger ones, but they are like twice as expensive, so maybe the quality is better there, but the price is also higher. Hard to say what is the quality of the other two. Definitely the price is 2 times bigger than for this one. So now I have 2 shotbugs, 2 10 kilo shotbugs on the C stand, and the flag is mounted horizontally, so there is almost no drag, but as you've seen before, with just one shotbug it just collapsed. Fortunately it collapsed to the other side, but you have to be aware that this is like a big sail, so if there is a wind, it's actually quite windy today, then it's quite risky to put such stuff up there. The lower it is, the safer it is, I'd say, because there is smaller force pushing it back or forth. So, but yeah, I guess I'm happy with the flags, and I'll probably use them also in the studio as an eggs, and sometimes in a pinch you can use them, or if you got light above, high above, you can use the flag as a diffusion. So there is no room for softbox, and you can diffuse the light with the flag. So yeah, that's it, and cheers mate.